Hello, it's VoiceOver Jen here. Today we are going to paint this really cute whimsical snowman. We are going to use Winsor and Newton watercolor, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to paint this using some negative painting, and we will begin. I mix up some green mixes using some Viridian, sap green, cadmium yellow. Those are the colors I begin with. I used a little bit of lemon yellow, but I did not like the mix it created. So I went ahead and switched to the cadmium. And as you can see here, I'm mixing up the different colors. I use a little bit of Winsor red to neutralize the green, just so it's not like in your face. I wanted to put the tree a little bit in the distance. So we will begin. There was a string on my brush, and that's never no good, but I begin with painting the tree in the background. And this is where you'll see that I'm having to go around the snowman. And when you're having to go around something or paint around an object, that is what we call negative painting for those beginners. I really love how this painting turned out. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys do attempt it. I begin with the darker green mix, and then I started adding some of the lighter colors. I wanted to give it a little bit of dimension, but in hindsight, I think I could have used a little bit more depth in it. However, the paper is not 100% cotton paper, so it's a little bit difficult to work with. I have another Strathmore watercolor cards, and I think I like the other group of the Strathmore cards a little bit better. They're both cold water, or not cold water, but cold press paper, but the textures are a bit different, and I think the paper material may be as well. This is where I start going over it, the tree with the lighter colors of the green, using the green and yellow mix. I start taking some burnt umber and I go ahead and make the trunk of the tree. Now I take some Mars Black and I begin by working on the snowman's hat. I put it a little darker on the left hand side by the tree and then I fade it out to the right so it would give an appearance of that it is shadier and there is some shade on the left side. And then I leave out a white space for like the brim of the hat. Right here, I think I made the brim of the hat a little bit too thick, so I try to take a damp brush and wet it, and then take a paper towel, I believe here. Nope, it's not here, but I take the brush. You'll see further in the video where I wet it, and then I'll take like a paper towel to remove some of it. Now I am taking a very light mix of cerulean blue, and I am using it on the left side of the snowman and underneath the hat, and I am going to basically try to shade the snowman. And when I first do it, I put it under there, and when I do the body of the snowman, I do more of a wet on wet technique, which I go back at the top and I take a damp brush and go over it to soften the edges of the line. I wanted to give it a softer shading effect, which another hindsight moment, I wish I would have left the contrast of the line and left it a hard edge so it would appear more in the snowman. If you hear noises, it's the furnace. I live in Ohio, and after all, it is a cold fall night. When I put the shading color on, I do follow the curvature of the body to give it the appearance of him being round. This is where I wet it, and then I dab it with a paper towel to remove some of the color of the paint that I got where I did not want it. Now I begin by putting some shading underneath the snowman to add some shading on the snow and to work on the ground. I put the color down and then I'm blending it out with a damp brush. The colors I was using is some ultramarine, and I mixed it with the burnt umber, but I go back over it in the ultramarine blue because I wanted to once again do some more negative painting to really bring out the snowman and make him come forward. Now I take some Winsor red and I am going to start on the scarf. I try to keep it darker on the left hand side and get lighter as I move towards the right. Here I put on the danglies from the scarf. If I can get my words out. Words are hard today. Now I dip back into that burnt umber and I go ahead and paint in the branches for his arms. Using a very light touch. You want to use light pressure. Now I mix up some cadmium yellow and Winsor red, and I make an orange for his nose. And basically his nose, you put a curvature and then you kind of, I didn't mind pointing down, but you can use a straight across pointing down. You could do it where it points up to make the snowman looking like he's looking up. But I chose to slightly point it down. But basically it's a thin triangle. And then I take some of that Mars Black and I put a couple of dots for his eyes, and then I put some dots for his mouth and dots for the buttons that are on his stomach. Now, I'm going to begin by the sky. I'm taking some ultramarine blue and some of that burnt umber, and I start making a gray. However, I end up going back over it with the ultramarine blue and giving him more of a night scene. I thought that the ultramarine blue just it made the snowman pop. It just really brought it out. So if you're go ahead and do this, ignore the step of the ultramarine blue and the burnt umber mix unless you want to have a moody sky, and go with the ultramarine blue. To me, I like the effect a lot better. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I loved painting this whimsical snowman, and I hope you got out of it kind of how you got to use some negative painting. It's pretty much easy if you, I think for a beginner, if you have the drawing ahead of time. I'm not good enough where I can just go ahead and negative paint something and then have a thing, a painting. If I feel a lot more confident in having a sketch. So if you're new and you're a beginner, and even if you're not a beginner, I strongly suggest you have a light sketch in there. It certainly helps with the negative painting. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a blessed day. Happy painting, everyone. Bye. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'm going to let you guys listen to it and watch. Oh, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. It definitely helps with the algorithm, and it lets other people know that the video's worth watching. Thanks, and if you have any comments or anything, please put it down. I'm always up for suggestions. Thanks, you guys. God bless.